Hello, Divine Rise. Blessed be to the day with this full moon, with this moon in energy in Libra. It's bringing us into that space of balance. So I wanted to get into it real quick. Dungeons and distractions. Dungeons and distractions. Dungeons and distractions. A lot of times we put ourselves into a space mentally forgetting that there's nothing outside of you unless it's already present inside of you. Nothing, the distractions of our day, the distractions that are happening, the distractions of our day, the distractions that are going on. The only way that they can trigger you is if it's already presently corresponding in your own mind. The only way that it can trigger you, make you feel some type of way, have you act in a certain type of way, is because it's already laced into your mind. It's already in your memories. It's already something inside of you corresponding to it. That's why you get triggered by it in that correspondence. Friday, we got very deep into that trigger warnings. We got into that trigger killer aspects, the philosophies of the ego. It's available now on my YouTube channel, G.O.D, Alkhemist. You can click the flow page link above in the description of this, and you can get tuned into that. But we will complain about these things, talk shit, get sick of all this different shit in our lives. We get sick of shit, not realizing that you're already carrying the germ of whatever that shit is. Everything outside of you is a byproduct of something that's going on inside of you. Everything that's outside of you in your environment is a byproduct that you've either created or co-created in your space. So there's no one else to blame for your distractions. There's no one else to blame for your procrastination. Just like we'll sit here and tell ourselves, I procrastinate. There's no one to blame for my procrastination but myself. There's no one to blame for me not getting things done but myself. The things that we have to address in this aspect of why can't I seem to get things done but the thing we have to address is that code of ethics, our code of conduct, how we hold ourselves accountable, how we hold ourselves responsible for our actions. A lot of times in that space with ourselves, especially coming into our healing process, that I've noticed when I deal with clients, is it's the work without the accountability. It's the reward without the responsibility. It's the work without the accountability and the reward without the responsibility. This happens a lot of times whenever I'm dealing with clients and we're going down into their shadows and doing that inner child healing aspect. We always say one thing to ourselves, but I did all of this over here. You are responsible for anything you're responsible for at the end of the day when you are doing your works is what you put into it. How does it reflect you? How does it set your impact? How does it set your tone? That's the only thing you're accountable and responsible for based on what was left over there. I can't go back to my first job and say, hey, I can't go back to my first job. I can, but it'll make no sense. Can't go back to my first job and see somebody stocking something on a shelf and then sit there and say, hey, yeah, I remember when I used to do that. Living in the nostalgia. I can't use that. That has nothing to do with me in my current state. That's not going to help me advance in my current state. I have to take responsibility in the now. I have to take accountability in the now. What I did not know then, I know now. What I do not know now, it's only up to me. I'm only going to repeat because this is how it works. This is how that cycles. If you don't know something, if you always say to yourself, I wish I knew what I knew now then. I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to move over there and do that. Here's the key. The only reason that you're here now is because it's time for you to learn now. You can't take what you know now back then. And a lot of people do this in a lot of different reflective ways. You'll take the lesson that you just learned about yourself. What we take is the surface level of it, and we try to take that back with us. We try to take it back over there. A lot of times I remember finding myself when the moment that I found out some shit, the moment that I got some things, because I was following that old code of conduct, that old pattern, that every time I get information, I gotta go take it over here. Every time I get something, I gotta go take it back over here. But then after a while, they would look at me crazy. I was like, we gotta do this and this and this. But then I had to think about it. They'll never move. My reflections will never move because I'm always going back to that space. What are my reflections? My family is never going to move because they're reflections of me not learning, of me, whether I'm learning the lesson or not and what I'm about to do with it. You can't go back. There is no stepping back into this. I'm going to go back to 19. There's no going back to that. It's done. It's over with. The only way that still exists in your space is because it's something that you ain't dealt with inside of yourself. You're still trying to imagine it like this. Take this thought, build this in your head. Imagine being stuck in a dark room by yourself. Imagine being stuck in a dark room, and the only time that you're allowed to come out is similar to, I don't know how many parents, like, you had your parents do that to you, or your aunts and uncles. Come out there and show that dance you know. Come out there and show that dance you know how to do. That dance you know how to do. That's what you keep doing with your inner child. That's what you keep doing with your inner child. One of the main things, what up, fam? One of the main things that I tell when I'm dealing with my clients is, that's what you're doing every time you come up outside of the dungeon. We think that we always had this thought process to ourselves that I'm only putting away the memories. I'm only putting away the pain. It happened to you. So every time that you put something away in those memories, you always put a part of your piece of yourself back. You always removed accountability and responsibility. That's why when you come into your current now, and you ready to take on the world, you ready to grow, you ready to advance in something, you ready to do something, you still a slave to that old emotion. So now when you come into this current space, you're always ready, but you're waiting for something. You're always ready, but you're waiting for something. What are you waiting for? You waiting for the perfect time. Perfect time ain't never gonna come. You waiting for the perfect moment. Perfect moment ain't never gonna come. How are you honoring that thought? This is in that healing process for ourselves. How are you honoring that thought? How are you honoring that thought based on response and not reaction? How are you honoring that thought based on response and not reaction? That's going to be your key in your growth. One of the main things that we get into with ourselves is we are ready, but we're not ready to question everything. You're ready, but you're not willing to question everything. We like to question what makes us feel good, what will help us keep feeling good, but we're not going to question the things that will take us out of that comfortability to make us better. But it's okay. You got one or two choices. Either you can be the slave or the slave master. The slave or the slave master. You either can continue moving as the slave in that code of conduct based on the slave mentality, that lack mentality, that liability mentality, or you can become the slave master. And then you can change the only way you're going to change it is by becoming that master to your emotions. Or you can be a slave to your emotions. You can be a slave to your old thoughts of yourself. You can be a slave to the trauma. Or you can step into this healing world and learn how to become this master. That's the only way you're going to be able to become that asset to yourself. It's time for a new code of conduct. It's time for a new code of conduct. It's time to discuss your code of conduct. That's what we're getting into this week on the God Hour podcast. That's what we're getting into this week on the God Hour podcast. Code of conduct. Everything that you've done up to this point is based on what to think. For some, not all. If it resonates, it resonates. It's based on, for most people when they're in that aspect with themselves, it's based on what and not how. We're thinking about what to think. So we look for the reactions are based on what? Information is based on the how. The science, that analytical aspect is based on that how. That's how you're going to tap in and you're going to establish your sovereignty. That's how you're going to understand that chain of command in your life. That's how you're going to start evoking based on the etheric. Yeah, based on the etheric excellence. I want you to be the best. I desire you to be the best. So take this next couple minutes in your day and really take the next couple minutes in your day. Take this focus in your day and realize that all of this shit is a part of me in some type of way. There's nothing holding me back but my own thoughts. The only reason I'm held back by my own thoughts is because I'm scared to honor myself. And that's a part of that fading away process. What are you scared to honor about yourself? Why are you scared to honor yourself? Why are you scared to give yourself take that responsibility for yourself? What has you scared to take that accountability for yourself? What's keeping you distracted? Learn from those distractions. Learn the lesson. And you're going to move forward. You're going to be the fucking best. I can guarantee you. There's nothing left. There's nothing left. You can keep doing the same thing you do every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Or you can embrace the day. You can invest into the change. You can learn yourself. You can rise. You can become the best. You can stay the slave or you can become the slave owner. That's all you is down there. Either the slave owner or the slave. You can be the slave master because you're mastering your emotions. And that's how you tap into your potential. But you can remain the slave, that hope mentality, this mentality of, as soon as I get it, you don't know what to do with it because you can't maximize your potential because you ain't honoring your thought. The master can honor their thought. I want you to be the best. Gods create, niggas flip. I got tired of flipping shit a long time ago. I never flipped burgers, so that was never my thing. Even when I worked at a restaurant, we were done with burgers. Niggas flip shit. Bad bitches flip shit. Think about that. Think about it. It's that niggas flip shit. Bad bitches flip shit. Niggas that are cheating themselves flip shit. But gods create. Gods maximize their potential. I want you to maximize your potential. I want you to be the best. For services, check it out. The new line on Occult Alchemy. Hit the flow link and get tapped in with me on there. You can inbox me about services. Cash App links in there as well. If it resonates with you, drop something in there. And I want you to be the best. And stay tuned. Tomorrow, 6 a.m. every Tuesday, drop a new episode of the God Hour podcast. This was going to be real deep. We're going to be getting into that code of conduct. Be the fucking best. Invest in this day. Bring yourself into perfection is simply balance. Balance is simply self-awareness. So if you're out of balance, it means it's time for you to increase your awareness. If you are out of balance, you're feeling all over the place, you're feeling anxious, it's because you ain't in the now finding that balance. Find that balance. I love you. We love us. Ashe.